Y'all know what it is. It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies, and you are now joining the conversation. I'm talking headlines from the sidelines with Coach Rowe. What's up, Coach?
What's up, everybody? I got my
Oh, Coach,
Cess
showing off
Sports.
that Cess Talk Sports, man. Y'all getting the
It's a
shot.
great mug. It's good. It's good quality. It passed the test because I did try to scratch it. It didn't go anywhere.
Look at him trying to tear up stuff. He probably tried to scratch it on my face too,
Oh,
y'all.
I
What y'all
definitely
think?
tried to scratch it, but it's a great
Uh,
cup. I'm a mug connoisseur. I love like to collect it and get different mugs from my travels and doing things. So this is a good quality mug. I was a little skeptical. It arrived timely. So hey, get in there, support Seth Sports. A lot of great
he was
merchandise.
skeptical. He was
I was
skeptical
definitely
about
skeptical.
Auntie.
I was definitely skeptical. At least I'm being honest. So this was the test. I'm gonna go in there now. I'm gonna load up. I'm gonna get every piece of merchandise that's in there to support my co-host and my friend. So
Oh, it's our
yeah,
channel. We supporting each other. Let's do it.
yeah.
So, Coach had his few minutes. I'm gonna have me a second here,
Mm-hmm.
and I just gotta say, and I know y'all gonna say, "Cess, we told y'all already," but the disrespect continues,
Mm-hmm.
and don't think I didn't notice.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way in the world that the overall number one is playing at 2 o'clock on a Friday when there is a 3 o'clock on a Saturday on ABC. They playing at 2 o'clock on a Friday on ESPN, and that ain't so bad for a team that made it to the tourney. But there's a 3 o'clock spot on ABC on Saturday, and we not there. Houseway, talk to me, Coach.
Well, I want to just add to that. I think it's disappointing to me. I know that many of the supporters of the mighty South Carolina team may be angry, but I'm more disappointed. And I think disappointment is something that goes beyond just this instance. And I hope that this is not a trend to see different things of 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 what's to come. When a team puts in the work, we have to put the whatever biases aside. We have to put anything aside from basketball has to be put aside when it's time for these ladies to get out here and showcase their talent. I don't know exactly what the root of this is, but I think that I can safely state that if it were any of the quote unquote blue blood teams or teams that had coaches that were more so on this Rushmore of coaches, that these teams would definitely be on prime time. You want to put the best product on television for the audience that watches it. We're in the community, so we know that the South Carolina fans, in my humble opinion, mimic something of like Dallas Cowboys. I think Green Bay. I think New York Knicks. I mean, any team, Lakers. I think any team that's like on like a global. I would say South Carolina women's basketball is the closest to any of those sports as far as like the fan base, as we've seen even on our platform. South Carolina fans are not just from South Carolina; they're all over the United States, possibly the world. So I just think I'm just disappointed that game is not featured in prime time. So I agree.
And do I dare say that there's a 3 o'clock spot on ABC available, and the number one overall team is not playing in that spot, and neither is the defending champion.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
uh, you make it make sense for me. But to me, that's when you're the number one overall, you earn that best spot. You earn that best TV spot because you should be a major TV draw. And
mm-hmm.
if not you, then who? Then it would be LSU because they're the
Exactly.
defending champions. But I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on that today. I just wanted to just keep poking that bear. You keep poking
Mm-hmm.
that bear. But uh got something else here, coach. I gotta get off here. Got
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna talk Juju Watkins for a minute. I wanna talk Juju on the beat. I wanna talk Juju on the beat, y'all, because I don't think this kid get enough shine. Okay? He's 18 years old. The coverage of Juju Watkins at USC on their way into this tournament has been magnificent. I shout out to USC for figuring out how to work a living legend back into what is going on at USC. The coverage that I've seen with Juju sit up there next to Cheryl Miller, them two talking Trojans, them two talking freshmen, them two talking All-American, them two talking national recognition as a freshman at a big school, absolutely wonderful. I love Cheryl Miller. As I've told y'all, listen, I don't talk her when we talk best of because she's on that Mount Rushmore founder.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you.
Okay, understand who she is. When I say
Thank you.
Hoops is my favorite, understand that comes from a history of understanding that there was a Cheryl Miller first. Okay, but again, on my Mount Rushmore, more like a legend, like Bill Russell, Bob Cousy, those people, Will Chamberlain, Mount Rushmore. So I don't compare her against most, but I loved that when they tried to make it about her, she took the time to say, number one, that she hopes that people are standing up to watch and see what Juju is doing. Number two, that she hopes that Juju is taking some time to just be Juju. Not Juju the basketball player, not Juju the student athlete, not Juju the leader of the team, just to be Juju and enjoy everything that she's done at 18.
Great advice.
27 points, 7.2 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 2.4 steals, 1.5 blocks, shooting 40.5 from the floor, shooting 43 from three, shooting 84 from free throws. Listen, she took USC to 26-5. Their number one seed, I believe. Is their number one seed, Coach?
Oh,
I think is the number one seed. If I'm not, correct me in the chat, y'all. Y'all know how I do. I've been looking at brackets for a few days. 6'2" is smooth.
Yes, they are number one seed.
6'2" is smooth. Thank you, Coach. Defense, offense. She's got the jumper. She's got the Euro step. She's got the turnaround. She's got the pull up. She's got the pump fake. She's great laterally. She's quick. She's got the movement. Listen, she had a 51-point game. Went to Stanford House and spanked Cameron Brink. You hear me? Gave Stanford a spanking at their crib. Dropped 51 on them. Check it out. She had a 12 rebound game. A couple of them. She had a couple 6 assist games. She had a couple 6 steal games. Had a 5 block game. She fills it up everywhere she wants to. Had some great legends from USC step up and talk about her besides just Cheryl Miller, okay? Cynthia Cooper, Tina Thompson, DeMar DeRozan, greats. They see this greatness. I think she broke a record as a freshman scoring. So it could be a scoring record in danger. And I'm putting it out there right now. It's a scoring record in danger. It's a scoring record in danger. I'm not calling no names in that, but just remember I said it's a scoring record in danger.
Now, are you talking about single season or are you talking about career?
I'm talking about both of them. Okay? I'm talking about both.
I'm going to say for the career, I don't think that one that I think you're talking about is going to get touched because Juju would definitely go pro, in my opinion, as soon as she's able to go. As soon as she's able to go.
I don't think that Juju's going anywhere as soon as she's able to go. I think you run that NIL money up, youngster. You ain't got to run nowhere.
I'm glad you said that. Let me add something.
You ain't got to run nowhere because that money gonna follow you. Go ahead.
Let me add something. I know I want you to finish, laying out her achievements, but let's talk about, aside from the Nike NIL deal she has, which she was one of the first to do that, look that up. Juju Watkins has proven not only is she an athlete, but she's incredibly smart. She just signed an NIL deal with NerdWallet. If you're not familiar with NerdWallet, they're the individuals that I frequent their site to find out the good. Well, they do several things, but I like to find out which cards have the interest rates, can get you the more return on investment, where you can get like the hoteling, the flight miles and stuff like that. They give you kind of like a cheat code on credit and how to improve yourself. She signed a deal with NerdWallet, which also includes financial planning as part of her contract. So this young lady is learning how to balance and extend her fortune as a freshman in college while she's breaking all of these scoring records. So right now, she's showing that there's a lot of, she thinks through her game on the court translates, it seems like, into her financial, her business decisions because she's very strategic. dissecting things just like she dissects a lot of these teams on the court. And you're absolutely right. She gave Stanford 50 plus.
51.
51. And the way she scored, I think we talked about this in one of our earlier. So here's the thing. Most of the time when you see a line of 51, you say, oh, well, they hit like 10 threes. Oh, where they went to the line. Like, no. Why? Go back and watch the game. She was hitting mid-range, going to the rim, flow of the game. Yeah, she hit a few threes, but it wasn't like 13 threes or nothing like that. She lit them up from just about every spot on the floor you could think of. So kudos to Juju.
Oh man, when they show her shot selection on the floor with all the green dots and everything on that game, y'all know what I'm talking about. Check it out. Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on Juju, but I did want to say she got a lengthy list of awards, honors, accolades, of course, but won the Pac-12 Freshman of the Week a record 14 times. 14 times this year, she was the best freshman in the Pac-12. One of those conferences that we all said it was tight. There was a lot of stuff going on there. There was a lot of other freshmen in there too. But like I said, 14 times she was the one. She won the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. She won the ESPN's National Freshman of the Year and all Pac-12 team. And like I said, as a freshman, All-American honors. So just had to give Juju a shout out. Really happy with what this youngster's been able to do. Taking the game to a different height. Of course, came in a lot more polished than most freshmen. And has lived up to all of the hype. Lived up to all the hype. I love to see people talking about her. I love the humbleness that she plays with the game. That she plays the game with. I love that the moment is never too big for her. She's always just Juju. You never really see her out of character. Even in the game where Stanford frustrated her on the get back game and she only had 9 points, she chipped in other places and cheered her team on because it was about the win. It's not about the numbers with this kid, but like I said, that scoring record's in trouble. Coach, anything else here?
Yes, I do want to say something. It's something that you mentioned. As a matter of fact, it was on our first slide. I wonder if Juju is attracting portal activity. I really wonder. I wonder if people are looking like, and I'm talking about those fourth year, potential fifth year, to say, hey, look, especially if they're watching this year to see if she goes as far as she seems she could take USC. Hey, I can go over here and try to get this championship with her. I wonder what movement may happen because of Juju for people to try to get in that portal. Now, it'll be interesting to see. I want to see the makeup of their team. I haven't done a deep dive to see like if there's freshmen, juniors, or whatever on their team, or are there players that may leave? I don't know, but that's something I'm going to personally dive into just to look at their roster and see what they have going on, because I think that's a narrative to watch. You may see some of these players. What if Poole went to USC? You just think about that. When you have a great players want somebody that can give them a rest or make the game easier for them, that can do some of the same things that they can do, so they can focus on one particular area when they're playing. So you can see some of these players. What about remind me of a name, Cess, from is it Missouri?
Young lady. Oh no, because I got a whole different name for you. But come on, I don't know. Missouri, who's that?
No, the point guard. We were all surprised that she hit the portal. Mbele?
Talia Scott?
No. Starts with
Mama.
She's Mama. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So it's like some of those players, you never know.
Well, it could be a player. It could be some players that ain't in the portal right now.
And that's what I mean.
It could be some players that are playing to see how far they can get. It could be some players that are on the fence.
Thank you.
Players.
Could be some players. That's what I'm saying.
Now you think about this. LSU gets knocked out. Angel Reese in the portal to a USC in LA with her brand, with a Juju filling up the seats in LA because she didn't get one this year in LSU. Not that Angel said anything about that, but when I think about LA, types of stars that it brings, what that could do, and I understand that her brand is very much tied to Baton Rouge and LSU. But if you could move your brand from anywhere and tie it to Hollywood and tie it to tie it to Los Angeles, tie it to where Shaq is
And,
sometimes because he probably got
yeah,
houses everywhere. But I
and
know he
you,
got connections there. So you think about it.
mhm.
You think about that.
And positioning yourself to go to the Sparks, where that would be a wonderful landing spot for anybody trying to further their career or expound upon outside of basketball. That's a good pull, Cess.
Y'all was a package deal before. What if you get a Kateri Poole and an Angel Reese?
And
You
Angel
never
Reese.
know. You never know. And it's not that Angel said anything like that, but when you look at their roster, they 5 seniors deep, and the majority of their seniors look like they mostly guards.
Oh wow.
And one senior forward. But interestingly enough, this is a team that carries two centers. I'm sorry, yeah, 2 centers, a 6'6" center and a 6'4" center. Uh, both both juniors from Southern California. Clarice Akawanfo, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, and Raya Marshall. I don't know if I'm saying either one of their names right, but that's what they carry there. But you bring that type of attitude to a USC, a little bit more dog to put with Juju. You never know.
Right.
I'm just saying, I throw that name out there. So a lot of people, they say they coming back. Not that I would want to see her go, but Camila Cardoso. What does that look like? Not that I think Camila is leaving South Carolina for any other school. I think if she leaves South Carolina, it'll be to either go pro or to go play professional back home. Because she may have an opportunity to really make some money internationally as already being an international star that she may not particularly have right from the jump going into the WNBA. So there may be some opportunities for her internationally that some of these other college players don't have, that I also want to acknowledge her is out there for Cardoso, so she doesn't necessarily just have to be on her way to the W. She could be on her way back to South Carolina. She could be on her way back home to play for Brazil or overseas. So just wanted to keep that in mind. But yeah, Juju,
Good point. Great piece on Juju. She deserves her flowers.
I just really wanted to shout her out, and y'all know who my freshman is, so this don't take nothing off of who my freshman is. But again, what this freshman was able to do with the stage that she was given and the tools that she had, hats off to this youngster. She really got down. And a shout out also to the Golden Child, who I thought also
I want the night
could have just as well been Cole, National Freshman of the Year. But I'll go from there. This was about Juju on the beat, and hats off to you, Miss Watkins, because you doing the damn thing. Can't wait to see what happens in the tournament. But we're gonna move on here. So Coach asked me, what did I learn about the play-in so far? And I want to say confidently, a resounding nothing. I didn't learn not one thing. Games are so hard to watch. I appreciate the warm up, and I don't know if it's for those teams or more just to make sure all the equipment working everywhere we need it to work. But let me tell you, now them the type of games that you have on a Friday at 2:00, not in prime time. Okay. Presbyterian, congratulations. Vanderbilt, congratulations. Columbia, shame on you. Sacred Heart, better luck next time. Now, was one of these schools the ones that was talking about they needed to play against one of these SEC teams because there was too many SEC teams in the tournament? Was this one of these teams?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't think
I
it was one of them.
I won't bring that up then.
Was
but
it?
I won't bring that up. I don't know. We was talking about it in the chat.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on with me right now because I've been doing brackets. So I can't remember, but I know there was some
yeah, somebody said it.
Scuttle bucket around.
Yeah.
Too many SEC teams, and we played so and so, and we did so good. If it was any of these 4 teams, stop it. If it was any of these 4, if it wasn't, I apologize. But Coach, I learned absolutely nothing. Please tell me what you were able to gather from these games.
Thank you, Cess. So I share the sentiments. Congrats to both teams. What I learned, I will talk about Vanderbilt and Columbia first. I know a lot of coaches watched this game, and let me tell you why. Because Columbia is from the Ivy League. Columbia is a spread them and shoot the ball type of team. Columbia is a very disciplined, run their offense type of team. They had their first at-large bid without winning the conference. I want to say this is their first time getting an at-large bid. So Vanderbilt showed everybody the blueprint on how to counter an Ivy League team. They applied a tremendous amount of pressure in the paint, in the middle of the floor, and they did not allow Columbia to get into their rhythm of spreading them out until towards, it got a little competitive like towards the end of the game, but by then, Vanderbilt kind of had control. What stood out to me is that we learned what we talked about in our bracket show. Vanderbilt showed that they were battle tested.
Man, I know you didn't say that with a straight face. It got a little contested win.
No, I'm talking about Vanderbilt and Columbia. No, it got.
You talking about when they got kind of with this 6 and that girl went down there and popped that midi?
Yeah.
And it was no, there was never.
No, I mean, it got a little. It was like what 18
no,
seconds.
Coach, I disagree. I think that they made a run.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think they made a run, and I think they made it look closer than the game actually ever was. I think it was always out of hand.
They had control of it. They had control.
Okay. I don't want nobody to think like we was. You said it like we was back at Tennessee, South Carolina.
No, not at all. So
we went down to a 1.1 second. Okay, I just wanted to say that, Coach. Sorry,
but Vanderbilt showed that their experience and taking some of those beatings, and I say that with a straight face, and the SEC helped them to kind of will their way through this game. So Ayanna Moore, I don't think gets as much attention as she should. She's a guard over there in Vanderbilt. She gave them 22 points. But even the biggest difference maker to me, because Columbia had a little bit of size on them. Sasha Washington chipped in 15 rebounds and 16 points. So as I said, they had a plan, they had an attack, and they executed that. Vanderbilt, like you said, controlled this game, but they showed other coaches how to slow down some of these Ivy League teams that want to go slow. Vanderbilt, what I learned is that they do live and die by that three ball. They hit 6 out of 18 three-pointers. The games that they had closer in the SEC, they shot well over 40% from the three-point line. They only shot 33% in this game. I think that Vanderbilt, they have the ability to change up their style of play. And when they face Baylor, I think they're going to totally switch up their attack. Against this team, they were paint. I think against Baylor, they're going to let it fly even more. Only 18 threes. I need to look at the three balls that they normally put up in a game on average. But so that's what I learned from this is that they were excited to be here. And they celebrated this return to the tournament. But, I think Vanderbilt will have – I think the game against Baylor is going to be closer than everybody thinks it's going to be. I think Vanderbilt is scrappy, and they just showed me a little bit of what they could do. They had flashes of it, but I think it's going to be a pretty good contest. Now let's jump to Presbyterian.
Let me just say this about Vanderbilt, though. Mm-hmm. I don't think that Vanderbilt's going to shock us. I think Vanderbilt is exactly who they are. I think that they are 23-9, the sixth team in the SEC. I think they're just about that, a middle of the road SEC team, and I think it just how tough they're able to play probably just speaks to how tough it is in the SEC. They probably potentially could rank higher in another conference with the physical play that they have, but overall, a middle of the road SEC team could probably be physical against some of these other teams, but just really doesn't cut it all the way against SEC teams. But I just wanted to say that I think they just a middle of the pack SEC team, and I don't expect them to go very far at all. Would be almost like a Cinderella would have to put the slipper on them if they get
I'm glad you said
too far down the line in this.
No, I'm glad you said that, because when we had our live selection show or our bracket show with our dynamic chat family, remember we said one of these play-in teams could pull off an upset. Looking at this again, again, this is only from the play-ins. To me, they have the best chance to pull off an upset because of their battle record, because of who they play. Like you said, again, Cess, we're talking about the SEC. Let's call it what it is. To be 6 in the SEC, that's not anything to hang your head down when you think about the greatest team in the tournament, which is South Carolina. You got LSU. You got come on, help me out in the SEC. The top 5 teams. You got Ole Miss.
Rakia's over there.
You got Rakia. You got Tennessee. Yeah. I mean, come on now. You got some. So again, remember, join the conversation setting. If you want to put it on Coach Rowe, that's fine. But we were kind of thinking about which playing team could make some noise. I think that Vanderbilt is the team that could pull off that nasty 12-5 upset tomorrow. So
I'm gonna push back on Coach, and I'm gonna say the team that I think out of the play-ins could be a surprise would be Auburn. And I know that they rank 7th in the SEC, but I just think that they have a roster and a coach that might be able to get that done. I like well, if they get past Arizona, then I like them better as a team from the SEC that could do something. A lot of size over there: 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", 6'2", 6'4", 6'1". You know. A lot of size over there.
So we see a theme here. SEC is kind of the conference where it's like 6-17 could kind of, I mean, no disrespect to any other conference, could very well be 3rd or 4th in another conference.
And for me, just not that big of a difference. 3 wins with 2 losses only between the two.
Here's my point, Seth. Vanderbilt could be 3rd, maybe 4th in a Big Ten conference.
Okay.
Auburn could be 4th in a Pac-12 if they're seeing those teams regularly. That's my point. That's what I'm looking at.
And Vanderbilt did beat Auburn this year, but they beat them by 3. But they beat them by 3. So that was a close game. And Coach always says it's hard to beat a team twice, 3 times, all that. So we'll find out. For me, I'm looking at that, and there's, don't get me wrong, there's size here too. You know, you got a 6'2", you got a 6'3", you got a 6'4", 6'2", but you got a couple 6'2s, but that 6'5", that 6'4", it's size here too. I don't want to take anything away from that. I think that they have more of their size is a lot younger, meaning that the majority of Vanderbilt's size is going to be freshmen and sophomores, and it was a little bit more of a mix, so maybe a little bit more experience there for Auburn. But either one of them, I don't expect either one of them go really far, just to get a nice trip on the school.
Okay.
And on everything they did on basketball. That's that's where I'm at with it.
So here's Presbyterian versus Sacred Heart. I agree, Cess. This was a difficult one. I think this is a game I ended up seeing most of because, wait, is that right? Who came on first?
I don't
remember. I think Vanderbilt was second. So I had
to hold my eyelids open for both.
Yeah, I had to watch Presbyterian on the playback. It was hard to watch. But did you know that Presbyterian, this win, they were considered as this was an upset? That Sacred Heart was favored in Vegas? Did you know that?
Yeah, I heard something about that. I was
surprised by that. It was hard to watch. They
bet on
Marinera, and I know, and I'm not being funny. That's her real name, Marinera. So I know the chat. Our chat. Marinera. He said Marinera. Or it might be Marinera. Chipped in 14.6 rebounds. They run a 4-guard center offense, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, it was pretty hard to watch. Not much to really talk about as far as like the back and forth. The score was 49-42. I think that, and respectfully, no disrespect to Presbyterian, I think that this game versus South Carolina, this could be the biggest margin of victory that I've ever seen in the NCAA tournament. It all depends on if Coach Staley's going to take her foot off the gas.
Coach Staley will take her foot off the gas.
They could potentially beat Presbyterian by 100 points, and I'm not being funny.
If this game gets out of hand, Coach Staley definitely will take her foot off the gas.
The 12th and 13th player, 14th player, are they 12 deep, Cess, on the roster, or is it 15?
I have no idea.
No, I'm talking about South Carolina. They 15 deep, right? 12, 13?
No, we don't carry 12. So
okay.
actually, this round we'll only have 9 active players.
All 9 will play. All 9
we have 10 on the roster now that Ja has entered the transfer portal.
Okay.
And so we will be down no Cardoso this first round, as everybody knows, based on what happened. But I expect us to
enjoy the city, Cardoso.
To take care of the city.
She'll probably have to watch it from the hotel. They probably won't let her in the arena, whatever. She's on vacation. Have a good time. Do some FaceTime calls over to Brazil. Have a good time. I don't know what the time difference is, but she can, talk to her family, have a great time, because this is going to be an ugly game. But here's something in chat. Here we go. Cess, do you know what the Presbyterian team is called?
No, I don't. What are they called?
The Blue Hose.
The Blue Hose. Oh, wow. Okay. Everybody needs a mascot. Everybody needs a mascot. You know what? I'm sorry. Before we go on, I have to back up because Coach is silly and he made me think of something. And I wanted to really, I wanted to call something out of 2024. And forgive me, but I'm going to back up a minute. And I wanted everybody to understand. I want everybody to understand something. As much as I love Cheryl Miller, in 2024, Cheryl Miller still has a Jerry curl. Did y'all see it? Did y'all see it? Maybe it's not a Jerry curl. Maybe it's a Wave Nouveau. I'm not sure. But when I saw her come back out, it was like, dang, man, is this an old shot? Where you at, Coach?
Let your soul glow.
Hey, listen. Because at first when I saw it, I was like, dang. Hey, is this an old picture of Cheryl? But no, this was Cheryl in 2024. And I just wanted to say, her soul is still glowing. I don't know.
Let your soul glow.
Coach, I love Cheryl to death. I love Cheryl Miller to death. But to know that someplace in 2024, there is still a hairstylist doing the Wave Nouveau.
Hairstylist?
Jerry curl. A hairstylist still someplace.
Now she's doing it herself, Cess. Don't be funny.
No. Somebody you can't roll them. No, you can't roll. You don't roll your own Jerry curl. What? Don't do that. No.
You just put it in. You put it in. You put it in. You put
she doesn't have a texture. She doesn't have a texturizer. She doesn't have a perm, and she doesn't have a Duke texturizer. She has a Jerry curl.
Hey, Cess.
That's a different chemical.
Hey, Cess.
Yes, sir.
Heating up back here, shorty.
Nah, the better one was when the police was coming and the water was off.
I know. Here's what he said. Heating up back here, shorty.
I thought you were talking about that first time when he was sitting in that chair trying. Whoo, he got sweaty.
I'm talking about when the police came. He said, it's starting to heat up a little bit back here, shorty.
I that was something that I noticed as I was like, dang, dog, is this an old picture of Cheryl that I was putting up? And it was like, no, this is Cheryl right now. And I forgot to point that out, but I did want to mention that in 2024 because she had cut her hair off to a low natural back there. You see that?
Yeah.
But now I don't know where she found the kid at, but and some of you youngsters probably don't even know what I'm talking about. Look it up, find out about it. Jerry curl, Wave Nouveau,
and look
Leisure
up
curl.
Coming to America if you want to know where Soul Glow come from.
but you look that up. You look that up, and I wanted a Jerry curl. That's what made me notice it. I wanted a Jerry curl, and I remember
my mother wouldn't let me do it. I'm so glad.
My dad,
said no.
my dad didn't let me either. My dad,
I said, nope.
I said, Dad, no, and this is how
I
my mama set me
bet.
up. Now, usually my dad don't have nothing to do with the hairstyles, okay? Your mama do your hair, okay? But this particular time I went and asked my mom, I said, Mom, I want a Jerry curl. Can I get a Jerry curl? And it hung so nice, and if it was if that wet look but dry like Dion, oh man, I wanted one. She said, you know what? Ask your dad. My dad always said yeah to everything. My dad always said yeah to everything.
Set
You hear me,
up.
Coach Ro?
I know. Set up.
Man, I went in there. I said, Dad, can I get a Jerry curl? My daddy said, what? Oh no, baby. By the time you old enough to get one, they'll call it a Charlie curl. You know, Coach, that happened to me in real life. I'm trying to tell you. I remember it just like yesterday. Standing at the top of them stairs on my way, getting ready to go down there to go to school. Oh man, I just knew. I was like, man, I'm gonna have a curl by Saturday. Hey, Dad.
I
Man, I'm gonna
bet.
have a Jerry curl by
I
Saturday.
bet. And you always had that kid in school that had the perfect Jerry curl. Everybody was like, "Dog, it's not even wet. It don't even drip." My mother was like, "Absolutely not.
Messing
No."
up my pillowcases.
She told me, "You think that's cool now. When you get older, you'll see it's gonna really mess up. You're gonna mess up your hair." That's what she told me.
I don't know that it messed up nobody here, but it messed up some couches and some pillowcases. And my daddy said no. He said, yeah, it'll be a Charlie curl by the time you get one, baby girl. But I'm sorry, I digress. I had to get back.
No need to
there.
apologize. I needed that laugh.
So, Coach asked me who was Jackson State,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, and I'm sure y'all don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to set it up where everybody's name will pop up when I say it, but I want y'all to give me the chance, give me the time to be able to acknowledge all of these young ladies on the SWAC team. Because I don't know if their name been called anywhere.
Please.
So, the Jackson State Lady Tigers roster. Coach, if you would grab the coach's name for me of this squad, I would love to acknowledge that person too. But Maya Pratchett, forward, 6'3", sophomore out of Memphis, Tennessee. Layla Walker, a center, 6'5", sophomore out of Gulfport, Mississippi. Daphne White, a center, 6'5", a senior out of Gulfport, Mississippi. Adriana Avent, a guard, 6 foot senior out of Sacramento, California. Talon Bowler, guard, 6'1", senior, Meridian, Mississippi. Haley Breland, guard, 5'7", sophomore out of Wiggins, Mississippi. Maya Crump, guard, 6'1", senior out of Houston, Texas. Jalea Hickman, guard, 6'1", junior out of Newton, Kansas. Ariana Hunter, guard, 5'6", junior out of Louisville, Mississippi. And that might be Louisville. In Mississippi, I'm not sure. But in Kentucky, it's Louisville. No disrespect.
Wait, what? Okay, I'll go back to that later.
There's a Louisville or Louisville or Louisville. I don't know how they pronounce it in Mississippi. I don't know how they pronounce that down in the valley where the girls get naked. Humpback. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about down in P Valley. But I digress. Angel Jackson, guard, 6'6", senior, Richmond, California. Kishana. I'm sure I'm messing up these names, ladies. I don't mean any disrespect. I just want to be able to acknowledge you as the SWAC champs and what you've been able to do. So Kishana Luckett, guard, 5'8", senior, out of Jackson, Mississippi. Zakia Mahoney, guard, 5'10", senior, out of Oakland, California. Alexis Roberts, guard, 6'2", junior, out of Newton, Mississippi. Madison Rochelle, guard, 5'9", junior, out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Taylor Woodhouse, 5'7", guard, junior, out of South Haven, Mississippi. And Michaela Woods, guard, 5'7", senior, out of Pflugerville, Texas. I'm sure I messed that up. But that's Jackson State. Coach, the coach's name, please, before
The
I go on
coach's name is Tomikia Reed.
It's Tomikia Reed.
Reed.
Got a lot of West Coast. Got a lot of West Coast love on that team. So I saw some Sacramento. I saw some Richmond. I saw some Oakland. I love my West Coast Bay Area. Stand up. I love to see what you're doing there. It's some ballers here.
Here's what's interesting about Tomikia. She's a native of Jackson, Mississippi. She claimed the SWAC regular season championship in 2007, made WNIT appearances in 2006 and 2007, won the SWAC tournament championship in 2008, making the program's fourth NCAA tournament appearance. Now, she's been around a little bit, but I'm saying this for a reason. She was assistant coach at Southern Miss, where she played as a player. She played at Southern Miss, Louisiana Tech, Louisiana Lafayette, and New Orleans. Now, she was also a recruiting coordinator, so she knows how to find talent. She has assisted in bringing several high-ranking recruiting classes, including the 2014 class at Louisiana Tech, which gained her the national top 50 ranking and was the second highest ranked class in Conference USA. So at Southern Miss, she also assisted in signing the 42nd ranked recruiting class in the country, and number one ranked recruiting classes in the state of Mississippi in both 2010 and 11. Reed began coaching at Southern Georgia Technical College. Yes, didn't even know they had a technical college. Southern Georgia Technical College, where she served as the assistant women's basketball coach for 3 seasons. She signed 2 of Georgia's top athletes and one of Mississippi's finest Dandy Dozen players. So I'm saying all this to say, I think that Tomikia Reed, I would love for her to stay in the SWAC and do what she's doing now. It's just a matter of time, in my humble opinion, that Tomikia Reed is going to move on to greener pastures. You're going to hear this name because of the job she's doing with this team right here. Remember, we said that on Join the Conversation. Tomikia Reed, feisty, experience with the game. I don't see a lot of stats from when she played, but as we always say, our formula, you don't have to, the great players don't make great coaches.
Listen, this team pretty much Mississippi, California, Texas, and the Tennessee. So recruiting from all over, but recruiting from some places that maybe you don't hear from a lot, but I know have some great basketball players out of there. Coached this team to 26-6 overall this year, 18-0 in the SWAC. This team was led by Talon Bowler, guard. She averaged 11.7 points. Kashana Luckett, 3.7 assists, led the team. Daphne White, center, 8.6 rebounds per game, shooting 62% from the floor, center. Angel Jackson, 6.9 rebounds a game and 3 blocks. Can't say enough. And I think I you can't say enough about how these ladies are filling these stats up. And Maya Crump, 1.5 steals. They're a deep team. They got 8 seniors. They seem to play pretty much all of them. I don't know if any of them are returning. The one thing I'll say about Mississippi, about Jackson State down there in Mississippi, is that they won some good games. When I look at their schedule, they lost big to some teams that were ranked. They lost big to some teams that were bigger than them. UCF, they lost to Kansas, they lost to Oregon State, they lost to Mississippi State by 10, and Miami by 7, and that was probably their closest loss out of the. They lost to Texas as well. Texas blew them out. But of the losses, they had some big losses against Texas, UCF, Kansas State, Oregon State. They have a lot of size here. I haven't seen them, so I'm not really sure how athletic they are. So I'm not sure how much of a challenge they'll be able to give UConn. But as a SWAC graduate, I'm used to us being in the play-in. I'm used to us playing before the big day even happens. Now that this happens,
thank you for mentioning that, Cess.
Yeah, and so for them to be here and not be in the play-in, and just be sitting around ready to play round 1, hats off to that program. Great representation for the SWAC, and we did want to just take an opportunity to introduce you to the Jackson State Lady Tigers. Congratulations, ladies! Best of luck in the tournament.
And
Coach,
there's
there.
a SWAC mentality that Cess and I both know exists. There's a SWAC mentality, almost like SWAC versus everybody. I agree. I've never seen them, but I can assure you that there's going to be some spots in this game where you look and say, "Wait a minute, this team has a little bit of something going for them." I would say that it's a bad draw for them versus UConn, but echoing what Seth said, I was very satisfied or happy to see a SWAC team outright.
Well, and especially coach,
the game. Yeah,
especially coach with these guards coming out of the West Coast, home of Chelsea Gray. You know, especially with one of them coming out of Oakland. I don't know what schools the kid was at. You know, there's some guards that came out of Oakland that were pretty good. Gary Payton, Brian Shaw. I know I'm forgetting some. Damian Lillard, Jason Kidd, Chelsea Gray, Alexis Gray. I'm forgetting some. So I just like the mix. Like I've been telling y'all, I've been saying all year when I looked at Jackson, even Mississippi State, Ole Miss, I said they playing some kind of basketball down there in Mississippi. They playing basketball down in Mississippi, and we're gonna have to take notice of them here soon. But
one of their strengths is rebounding, is what I did some research on.
And so when I look at the height, when I look at the size, and depending on how athletic they are, UConn very thin. UConn maybe 7-8 deep right now. Aaliyah Edwards definitely gonna play with the mask because she's broken her nose for the second year in a row. So you know, to me, could be an upset. But just, you know, hats off to them for a great season.
Right.
And hats off to Jackson State for being able to keep the momentum behind their basketball program and their football program, even after Deion walked away, and proving a point that they do belong in the conversation. So, unless there's something else, Coach, we're gonna hit this next topic.
Yep.
So, Coach, he was asking me if I had to pick an elite to lose, it would be, and we didn't get to talk about it. We didn't get to talk about it. So, I don't have a slide for coaches. I'm telling y'all right now, it ain't no slide for whoever coach picked. And we didn't get to agree on what was elite. But elite to me was the number ones. So I only looked at the number ones.
Okay.
So coach's response and what he was looking for could be totally different. I'm explaining all of this so that you understand my thought process behind why Iowa is up on the board for me. And there's not a slide coming for coach. So this one is on me. I picked Iowa. But before I get into Iowa, I want to say that there are some sleeper teams that may reach the Final Four. Some sleeper teams that could reach the Final Four. I want to give you 4 of them. Colorado. I'm sorry, 3 of them. Colorado, Oregon State, NC State, and I'm thinking about Tennessee. Tennessee was a maybe because I just don't know what's going to show up around Rakia. But Rakia is one of those players that could go off and is good for a game and a half by herself, where she could get you to a win. So Tennessee is sitting there, but all of these schools had good stretches of play this season where they were playing well together. Oregon State, NC State, Colorado, not ranked low. Teams that have been, I believe, all within the top 5 this year. And I felt like the good stretches of basketball that they had came behind great defense. And I always feel like defense wins out. Defense wins championships. I know you got to put the points up, but if I can stop you from putting up any points and I can just put up a few, I can win the game. So I wanted to throw those my 3 and a possible out. I'm gonna see what Tennessee does. I'm not calling anybody a Cinderella. I didn't pick any of them to win anything on any of my brackets. But just for fun, 4 of those teams with 3 and a possible, 3 and a maybe, 3 and a lukewarm. They could reach the Final Four. Not win it all, reach the Final Four. But the elite team, they could lose. if I had to pick one, it would be Iowa. Iowa got a tough out.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa got a tough out in this bracket here. And where I saw in most of the other brackets, of course, with the exception of probably the South Carolina bracket, I saw where the number one could be knocked out, maybe starting around the Elite Eight, with the exception of Iowa. To me, there's a potential that Caitlin Clark and Iowa don't get out of the round of the Sweet 16 round. The usage of Caitlin Clark, although she's been able to rest and I think she's been handling it a lot, it's just been a lot of buzz around her. I just don't know what that's going to look like for her. So I want to keep that in mind. I don't know how her team is going to show up around her to help. You know, we got Stokey. You know, she can get hot. They can get hot and go off, but everybody else could not show up, and it could be the Caitlin Clark show, and that might be that might be a lot to get over some of these teams that she had a little bit easier the last time she saw them. But as Coach always says, it's hard to beat a team 2 times, 3 times,
Mm-hmm.
and some of these teams are playing their best basketball right now, and everybody's going to be giving everybody their best shot because nobody wants to go home. Everybody like a road trip. Everybody like to be on vacation. You're in the hotel. You're ordering room service. You know, you're in a different town. You know, it's nothing like, you know, it's a good time. You're doing what you love. So, and then all the best basketball players in the world, in the world of college hoops, are right here in these same areas. So you're running into people that you haven't seen since AAU. You know, you got it into college now. So it's a good time. It's a reunion. You know, it's competition. But to me, in the evening, it's probably one of the coolest places to hang out because it's just all of these people around talking basketball. You running into people in and out of these hotels. You have to be. But when you look at, there's a Princeton, there's a West Virginia, there's a Kansas State, there's a Colorado, and potentially a Drake that could show up, you know, from the round of 64 to 32 to 16. Coach really likes Princeton because they could slow the game down and make it boring.
Mm-hmm.
Colorado, I think, turned some teams over earlier this year, and could again surprise some teams if they get to playing well. Kansas State, it just, you know, with these teams, I just feel like it depends on who shows up. They could give them a run for their money if they're playing their very best ball on that day, and if Iowa's not clicking on any one of those cylinders, could be in trouble. So for me, it's Iowa, Coach. But you go ahead.
Thank you. That was good. Now I'm going. I am on the same page as you, but I went one ranking down from one. So we were on the same page. I was including ones and twos, and this is a team that I stated before. Even we had our live bracket show. The team that I think could take that exit would be Stanford, and the reason why I say Stanford is because I still think Maryland, even though they have to get through Iowa State. You already mentioned NC State. You mentioned Tennessee. You still got Gonzaga hanging around over there. You got Utah, and you got Texas. So there's a lot of potential teams over there. And Stanford, the way they play, they have that high usage rate for one player on their team too, similar to some of these other teams. I could see them being slowed down. I could see them getting bullied a little bit by one of these Big Ten teams that they might run into. Are you kidding me? If Stanford runs into Rakia Jackson, you think Stanford's going to be able to stand up to that onslaught, offensive onslaught from Rakia Jackson if she makes it there?
Well, and remember, there was some back and forth. There's been some words between Cameron and Rakia.
Yeah,
I think Cameron had a block on Rakia and talked a little trash there. So
yeah.
there's a little rivalry right there. I like that.
And trust me, when it comes down to similar to what you said about Caitlin Clark, the sole focus, they're playing Norfolk State in the first round. The sole focus is going to be, how do you stop Brink? So this is where we got to say other teams are going to watch this first round game. How did she do? What did they do against her to slow her down? But then you got to go right against the winner of Maryland or Iowa State. Neither of them are slouches.
And let's not think that Norfolk State ain't looking to see how Juju gave them 51.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying.
How can they use their athleticism and their speed, which may be a little bit better.
And as Cess always says, when you get into a tournament, it's more than just if you can put the ball in the basket. It's conditioning, it's stamina, It's strategy. There's a lot that goes into these games, and I have not seen consistency. Again, I know it's an oxymoron. They had a great record. Obviously, they're a number 2 seed, but I have not seen consistency in their play long enough for them to sustain a number 2 seed in this bracket and make it long. So if I had to pick from the elites, Stanford will be the first team that I will look at to say they could get knocked out in an early round. I'm talking about round of 32.
You know what else is going to be interesting, Coach? I'm
Mm-hmm.
interested to see the arenas that they're playing in, how much those factor in. Because we had the discussion, which was I just thought it was wonderful insight earlier this year when we did the live with the LSU South Carolina game. Somebody pointed out that the depth of perception by the baskets and stuff are different when you're shooting your shot. And so it throws it off a little bit if you're not used to it. So not, so the lights will be bright. You're going to be shooting on some baskets and rims that may or may not be familiar to you. And then you're just in a new city. Some of you will be playing normally on the East Coast, will be playing on West Coast time zones, and just how you are. All of those things factor into, how you're able to adjust to those things and how quickly you adjust. Definitely impact the performance, the overall performance in the tournament. So interesting to see how those things will affect everything. But we're getting ready to get down, y'all. Coach and I are on the push still for 1,000 new subscribers. We are on the countdown to our last one, to our last, I believe, 99. We had 901 subscribers. Thank y'all so much for the support and the love out here. The channel is growing just because of you. And we really appreciate it. We appreciate the way y'all show up for us on lives at night, hanging out with us 3-4 hours sometimes, and just the consistent love and the way you guys show up. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much. We are, well, I'm for sure live tonight for Auburn and Arizona. Coach, if you're able to jump on, hop in. If you can't come live, please get in the chat. We'll be looking for you. We will definitely be taking some folks to the tree over the next few days. Definitely. We'll be getting the tree out. He's holding the L. We finna get some L's to some folks, y'all. Let's have some fun, man. I'm so excited for this tournament to get started. I'm looking forward to hanging out with y'all this evening. So come on in there and hang out. We'll be live for that first game, and then also for our regular huddle right after. So 7 and 9 o'clock, 2 different links, because I didn't know I was gonna go live at 7, but we'll figure that out, y'all. We family. It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies saying thank y'all so much for the support. Until next time, stay tuned. Talk soon. We out. Peace.